Hello, friends. So let's welcome to all of you. So today we will start the introduction of the supply chain. What is supply chain management? We will learn from here. Okay. So let's start. Okay. So supply chain is a chain which consists of all the parties involved, directly, indirectly in fulfilling a customer requirement. All facilities, function, activities associated with the flow and transformation of goods and service from raw materials to the customer as well as the associate information flows. An integration group of processes to source, make, and delivers products. Okay. After that, this is the flow chart of the source supply chain. As we can see, like in our working, the process of supply chain first start like from the source plants vendor ports. After that, multiple various ports are there, so we can understand the regional warehouse stocking points are as well. Okay, field warehousing stock points as well, customer demand centers, shinks. Okay, these are the tools which is connected to the transportation cost, and we will get the inventory and warehousing cost as well. After that, inventory and the warehousing cost, transportation cost, these are the interchange and associated with each other, and the production purchase cost as well. So we can see in this flow chart. After that, the supply chain management SCM, which is called the management of the flow of the goods. Okay, the goal of the mission of supply chain management can be defined using a Mr. Goldraft, Goldratt words it as increased throughput files, simultaneously reducing both inventory and operating expenses. Okay, and if we are talking about the supply chain management, looking for the definition, how we can understand the supply chain management is the primarily concerned with the efficient integration of suppliers, factories, warehouses, and stores, so that merchandise produced and distributed in the right quantities to the right locations and at the right times. Okay, and so as to minimize total system cost subject to satisfying the customer service requirements. Supply chain management has been defined in the design, planning, execute, control, and monitoring the tools of supply chain activities with the objective of creating net values, building competitive infrastructures, leveraging worldwide logistics, synchronizing supply with demand, and measuring performance globally. uh, for the supply chain. Okay, if we are want to understand from the flow chart, so that we can understand this is like P and G or others many manufacturers are there. Okay, and this can be go from to the jewels or third party TC. Jewel supply market also can go to the customer want detergent and goes to jewels. Okay, suppose if we in working in an organization, then and chemical manufacturers like oil company are there. Okay, then these can go to the plastic producer, these can go to the PNG manufacturer. Okay, and from here, like chemical manufacturer, oil and company, this will directly go to the other company as well. And timber industry, paper manufacturers, technical packaging, these are the things which we can understand in the supply chain. And the main supply chain work is the for generating the system, the flow from one company to the other company by using their cost, by using their source, by using their products. Okay, so benefit of the SCM: reduce the uncertainty and risk in the supply chain. This possibility affect the inventory levels, cycle time, business process, and customer services. Contributes to all over contributes to overall increase in the profitability and competitive advantage. Supply chain stage. There's the multiple stage we can see over on the screen. Customers, retailers, warehouse and distributors, manufacturers, and component raw material suppliers. It is not the compulsory that all the assets should be present in the supply chain. Okay, so what is supply chain management? SCM. This is start from the plants. After that, it goes to the source. After that, it will go to the buy, make, deliver, and buy. Okay, if we have taken any plans, like we need to just create a source for that. After that, we need to make that product, and for completing the product, then we need to deliver that product and to the buyer. Okay, which of the person is buying that product. So this is the supply chain that we can create to the in market. Okay, in the market, a set of the approaches used to efficiently integrate first is suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, distribution centers. Okay, so that the product into that the product is produced and distributed in the right quantities and to the right locations and the right time. System wide cost and minimize and service level requirement are satisfied. History of the supply chain management: the 1916s inventory management focused cost control. In the 1970s, MRP and OM operation planning. Okay, 1918 MRP IGIT material management and logistic. Okay, 1990 SCM ERP integration purchasing financial manufacturing order entity Entry 2000 optimize the value network with a real-time decision support, synchronized and collaborating in extended network for SCM. Objective: what are the objective of this session? The satisfy the customer needs, maximize the overall values generated, increase supply chain surplus, and high supply chain profitability. Supply chain decisions start from the design, planning, execution, control, and monitoring. Ensure the effective flow of the goods and information. Clusters of the store near the distributor centers, collaboration with the suppliers, active efforts or to steer customer at real time, centralized manufacturing. Worth of the inventory, manage cash flow, and should be flexible. Decisions faced in supply chain. Supply chain, first is supply chain strategy and design. How to structure for next several years. What is the chain configuration? How resource allocated, and what process each stage will perform. Our sourcing in-house functions. Location and capacity of the production and warehouses. Mode of the transportation. Sorry. Type of information system. Supply chain plannings are there, included a few types as following. For the several months forecast for the coming years. Analyzes demand in different market, which markets locations as well. Subcontracting, inventory policies, timing, size of the market, marketing, price promotions. Third is the supply chain operations. What is the operation we can perform as the following: weekly or daily operations decision as the individual customer orders, allocation or of inventory and production, set dates for activities, generate list of for warehouses, allocation of shipment, schedule of trucks. Okay, a process view of supply chains. Cycle view. In the cycle view, we can understand the process divided in the series of the cycle. Each cycle occurs at the interface between two successive stages of the supply chain: customer order cycle, replenishment cycle, manufacturing cycle, produce procurement cycle. A cycle view of the supply chain clearly define the process of involved in the owner of the each process. This view is very useful when considering the operation decision because it specifies the roles and responsibility of each member of supply chain and the desired outcome of each processes. Uh, push pull view of supply chain. If we are talking about the push pull value, divided into two categories: execute in response to a customer order, pull process, which is called the push process. And if you're talking about the push process, execute in anticipation of customer orders. Okay, a push versus pull views of SC operations categorizes SC processes based on the whether they are initiated in the response to a customer order pull or in anticipation of a customer order push. Okay, example: a compact all processes except the for those involved in the customer order cycle are of push type. Dell assembles its computer to order, and therefore all the processes except for those involved in the procurement cycle or pull. Remark generally is possibly pull organization of the supply chain provides together control of inventory cost and ability to support a higher level of product customization. Supply chain integration push strategies. These are the push strategies that multiple companies are using. The MNC company are also working on the base of this, as we are following classical manufacturing supply chain strategy. Manufacturing forecasts are long range. Okay, orders from retailers warehouses, longer responses time to react and to marketplace changes, unable to meet changing demand patterns. Supply chain inventory becomes obsolete, and for demand certain products disappear, increase the variable loading to large inventory safety stock, larger and more variable size production batches, and accept unacceptable service level inventory obsolescences, inefficient use of the production facilities. So these are the we can use, and these are the pull facility. The multiple companies like Amazon and Dell are using production and distribution are demand drivers. Okay, now the inventory held only in the responses specific orders, fast information flow mechanism, POS data, decreased lead times, decreased retailers inventory, decreased variability in the supply chain, and especially at the manufacturers. Decrease the manufacturers inventory, more efficient use of resource, more difficult to take advantage of a skill opportunity. For example, Dell and Amazon company are using this. Supply chain integration push pull strategies like Cisco system has the information like which is based on this hybrid technology, like hybrid supply chain. Okay, hybrid strategies used for the push and pull strategy overcome the disadvantage of each. Early stages of production assembly are done in the push manner, partially assembly of product based on aggregate demand forecast, which are more accurate than individual product demand forecast. Uncertainty is reduced, so safety stock inventory is lower. A final product assembly is done based on the customer demand for the specific product configuration. Supply chain timelines determines push pull boundaries. Generic product and customized product we can see in the raw material after the supply chain timelines and go to the end consumer. Okay, and choosing between push and pull categories. These are the graph we can see, push and pull categories. Then this push category is going to low, and this pull category goes to high. Okay, these are the industry where and industry customization in high demand is uncertain scale and economic is very low. So computer equipment, furnitures, books, CD, and grocery beverages. Okay, and this is the economies of scales, left to right, pull to push, and and push to pull as well, low and high. Uh, where the following step you can see over on the screen. Characteristics of the push pull strategy: objective and complexity, focus, lead time, processes. We can see if we got talking about the objective, push minimize cost and pull maximize the service level. For the complexity, it's high, and for the push for the high and pull for the low. Focus, resource allocation in the push and responsiveness in the pull. Lead time in the push long and in the pull shorts. Processes, supply in the push supply chain planning, and in the pull order fulfillment. Delivers of supply chain performance. These are the performance we can use to deliver the supply chains aim to responsiveness and effective to the at lowest possible cost. Driver to set the improved and supply chain performance, facilitates inventories, transportation, information sourcing, pricing. Outline we can see driver of the supply chain performance, a framework of structuring drivers like logistic drivers and cross-functioning drivers. Okay, logistic driver included the facilities, inventory, and transportation. The cross-functional drivers included the information sourcing and pricing. Drivers of the driver of supply chain performance. These are the facility, inventory, and transportation we generally use in this format. Okay, so I hope I've just covered all this topic in this videos. And drivers of the supply chain performance, like these are the performance you can see, and I will provide more information and a description as well. Okay, a framework of the structured drivers, like start from the competitive strategy supply chain. After then supply chain goes to the efficiency and responsiveness, and the logistic drivers, the facility, inventory, transportation, and it will go to the vice versa, information sourcing and pricing. Interacting drivers as well. It is called the cross functional drivers. Structure of the Walmart example. These are the example, like Walmart is using of competitive strategy every day, and the price and reliable product availability of wide varieties. These are the things we generally use, and most of the companies are using the structure for drivers in their supply chains. If you like my video, please like and subscribe this channel. Thank you, friends, for the supply chain.